Good evening, everyone. Rocket Lab is opening an Alaska launch site under a $266 million deal with the Space Force. So, what might the logistics actually look like for 1,500, you heard that right, Starship launches in 2028? Google discloses they own $94.1 billion of SpaceX stock. It's like a whopping 6% stake in the company. On the other hand, Morgan Stanley claims that SpaceX at 100 or less would imply zero value for their AI piece. Meantime, Ukraine plans to spend $1.1 billion for its own constellation to reduce reliance on Starlink. iSpace gets ESA backing for its Magpie moon rover. Irony of the day, China starts building commercial space debris monitoring constellation. Now, didn't we just report that they have become the biggest offender? Voyager wins a big contract with Sandy National Laboratory. An EU-based SpaceX rival expects to raise $300 million soon. And Florida has an answer to the China challenge. All that and our guest, Yvonne Turchak. From the news desk at the Center for Space Commerce and Finance, my name is Thomas Andrew Olson, and this is The Unknown Quantity. Okay, folks, as you know, this program is brought you by the Center for Space Commerce and Finance. What do? We champion and strengthen emerging space startups and space-adjacent enterprises worldwide through advisory, access, and advocacy. Our legendary pitch events and world-class boot camps fortify startups to be better investor-ready. In addition, this podcast, which has become a crown jewel of all our activities, is largely supported by our listeners and fans like you. So if you just go to cscf.space/support and click that plain as day donate button, $10, $25, $50, $100 even is not a lot in the grand scheme of things, but it makes a big difference for us. And it's US tax deductible. Don't forget to like and subscribe and tell your friends. Speaking of friends, my longest space friend, Michael Lane, who just spent the day polishing his totem, is here with us. Michael.
Hey, how's things?
Man. I'm roasting. I'm just going to be roasting. 15 minutes before the show, my AC decided to glitch out upstairs here. I have no idea why it's doing that. It's just not, it feels cold when you touch the grid thing, but there's no air being moved. It's not moving. Nothing's moving. The fan isn't coming on. So I don't know. I don't have time to troubleshoot it now. I'll just have to work through it. The show must go on.
The show must go on. That's the deal.
Here we are. How are you doing?
That's our contract with our beloved audience. And
right.
Speaking of our beloved audience, Veronica, nice to see you. Hopefully that 120 degrees in Phoenix isn't going to kill you. That sounds terrible what you're doing. So good luck. Put your feet up, grab a cold drink, and hang out with us for an hour. We love having you here. Also, big shout out to Morty. He is not on our show today. He's almost on our show today. But you know what? That kid is getting married on Wednesday, and he has other things to do. So we're just going to say congratulations to Morty and his fiance, and good luck to them.
Absolutely. Mazel tov to them. And
what's that? Mazel tov?
Big mazel tov to them. Yes, absolutely.
Yep. Big honeymoon planned in Turkey, which sounds great. He showed me the pictures of where they're going. Looks like a good time. So good luck there, buddy. Appreciate it. All right.
Okay.
Let's get to work. Yeah.
Let's get to work. First was just kind of short because it's space news. They never, give you anything without you peeing through the nose. But
right.
Rocket Lab got a big deal for a $266 million Space Force deal, and they're going to open up a new launch facility in Kodiak, Alaska. that will support up to 18 suborbital missions for military testing, expanding their role in military launch services as the Pentagon seeks more capacity for weapons testing. So I'm sure this came out of some Golden Dome money and a lot of other stuff. I mean, Space Force has been getting more money than they almost know what to do with.
Not true.
They're not even sure who to hire. Come on.
Okay. That's a little bit true, but all right. So shout out to Rocket Lab here for a second, right? So they just broke a record 8 months ago, fastest turnaround ever. And then 8 weeks ago, they won another contract, another record.
Yep.
And I think if I'm remembering that right, they're down to 12 or 14 hours from, the go button to in flights and testing. So they have definitely impressed folks at Space Force, and a set of 18 flights. That's a big deal. So good job, Rocket Lab. I'm super happy for them.
I was interesting because after that announcement, I looked at their stock's only up $3 today.
I've been telling
people it'd be up a whole lot more.
Since the moment SpaceX sucked all of the money and all of the oxygen out of the room, I've been telling people I don't know what to say about SpaceX. I genuinely do not know what to say about SpaceX. But and full disclosure, I don't have any capital in this, so I have no skin in this game. But if I were making investments, I'd be betting on Rocket Lab.
Yep.
The more they do, the more serious they become, the more it makes sense to me that that's something worth having. Hey, I'm seeing that Dallas made it. Of course you made it. We count.
Of course you did.
Glad you made it. Can you fact check me on something, because I think Rocket Lab did their turnaround in 14 hours. Is that correct? Because I think that's the thing that gave Space Force so much confidence in them, is just immediacy of turnaround.
So. Of course, Dallas knows this stuff. If he doesn't know this stuff, nobody does.
Right.
Exactly. He's our guy, man. He's just like,
yeah. All right, so that is Rocket Lab. Anything you want to say about
14? Now, a 14-hour turnaround may not seem like much pretty soon, because according to SpaceX, they want to launch 1,500 Starships in a single year, starting in 2028. That's a year and a half from now.
Okay, so we're gonna dig into this one a little bit. Let me just pull it up here. All right. Hey, Jason, thanks for being here, guy. Let's dig into this one, because first of all, I don't know if anybody knows Next Big Future, but Brian Wang has been he has one of the best tech focused blogs that's been running for, I don't know, a decade and a half
at least.
I know that he reported on the first version of Liftport, so that makes it at least 20 years old. Mm-hmm. So when this guy does some analysis, I'm definitely paying attention to that, right? And all he's doing is he's basing it off of what has currently been publicly announced at SpaceX, right? So they're 1,500 launches of Starship in just 2.5 years.
And this is kind of the key. Here's a key thing just to lead with.
Right.
Every Starship stack swallows roughly 4,600 tons of propellant.
Right.
1,000 tons of liquid methane and 3,600 tons of liquid oxygen. Every single stack.
I mean,
that's fixed by physics and chemistry, and it doesn't improve with practice.
Right. It's just throughput. It's throughput.
Yep. That's all it is.
You got to have a tank farm. You got to have a pipeline. These are things that we've never had to worry about in the space sector before.
Right.
Yeah. A launch complex that cannot make its own propellant cannot exceed a few hundred flights a year, regardless of how many pads it has.
And
Every
that's why
major
they're
site.
piping in. That's why they're piping in all that natural gas. They have a natural gas pipeline feeding the site. You've got a big air separation unit that pulls oxygen and nitrogen straight out of the atmosphere. Their own liquefaction plants on site.
That is so bonkers.
You know, my God.
Yeah, I never really thought this through. I will point out, and this is me, patting myself on my own shoulder here. The Liftport countdown clock. I'm just gonna pop it up briefly. We scaled our plans to fit SpaceX's plans. So that was not an accident. And I'm going to return us to our regularly scheduled program here. That this gigantic throughput has somewhere to go. And I think it's gonna go to the moon. A portion of it is gonna go to the moon. Certainly a lot's also headed to Mars. What do you think about this 1,500 flights by 800 days from now?
You know what? If we get a third of that,
oh my
in
God,
that time, we'll be doing something. We'll be doing something major. No one's gonna bitch about it.
No. No one's gonna complain. Yeah, so this is something we've talked about on the show a couple times about how many pads and how many sites. Have they announced this fourth site? Does Wang know something we don't know?
Could be. I haven't heard an announcement on that.
I haven't either. I was a little surprised he threw that in there. So that
it's basically, as far as I know, it's still Boca, Vandenberg, and the Cape.
Right. That's the three that he's got right here. Right. But what is this fourth site? Any speculation? I have none.
Is it still something that's still, in fact, speculative, that they're talking about, doing something, but they just haven't announced anything yet? And who would he get that information from?
Wang is a very good reporter. Well, reporter's too strong a word. He's a very good aggregator. He doesn't, as far as I know, he doesn't go out and get first-person news. Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
But I bet you a lot of places would like to get access to that fourth site. So I don't know if that's speculative or whether it's a plan that we're not aware of.
Yeah.
Pretty wild, though. Anyway, this report is very worth reading, and it opens up a whole bunch of questions.
Well, that miracle fourth site, though, it's that they're calling that the primary volume anchor, but they can't give it a name or point to where it is or will be.
Yeah.
Because just saying 4,400 flights will come out of there eventually.
Right. Yep.
So what is it?
Meanie, I'm just posting the link there. Sorry, I thought I had already posted it, but apparently I hadn't. It's nice to see Joseph. We met at the ISDC a couple weeks ago, so nice to see you here. Appreciate that. What's Dallas saying? 16 hours. So it's the turnaround was 16 hours, not 14 hours. Veronica's like, we need Gwen Shotwell on the show. Duh. You're right, Veronica. Feel free to reach out. We don't have that.
The key is actually getting her to do it.
Right.
She's in high demand right now.
Yeah, no shit. And let's see.
But our numbers would break the server if
Morty is here. Dude, what are you doing? We gave you a shout out assuming you weren't going to be here, man. Go take care of your wedding. But listen to the show in the background. All right, moving on. I find this very fascinating. This next big future article, but let's press along.
Yeah. Okay. This is a quick one because again, Wall Street Journal. I
Right,
just wanted to
sure.
put the tidbit out there. I didn't realize this, but Google just disclosed today they bought 94.1 billion in SpaceX stock, which makes it about a 6% stake.
Whew.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's insane.
I'm sure they're trying to. I'm sure they want to get first shot at some AI capability
Oh, sure. Right.
for running Gemini.
Yeah. Yeah. Dallas is saying that Louisiana is a considered second site, and it's been reported by both Washington Post and the Wall Street Journal. So Dallas, Wall Street Journal, Washington Post, and Brian Chang all know something that we don't know. So fourth site might be Louisiana. That's interesting.
Yep. Well, you launch right over the Gulf, but
Yeah.
if you messed up, you hit Orlando.
Yeah, right. Who'd miss it? Really? I mean, who'd miss it?
Yeah.
All right. So not really much more to say about with Google.
So the brutal irony is, of course, the next article,
Yeah.
which says that Morgan Stanley says if SpaceX drops to $100 or lower, that would imply zero AI value. So there's investors are assigning no value to the AI business.
You know what? I mean, Morgan Stanley probably has more resources than I do, but I think that's completely backwards. I think that people are valuing the AI company and not valuing the space company highly enough.
Yeah.
Because they have doubled or tripled. We won't know that for another couple days, but they've either doubled or tripled their revenue since turning into an AI company. So I think that analysis from Morgan Stanley is 100% backwards. And Veronica is also like, AI is booming. She's like, not true. The AI business is booming. Exactly what I'm trying to say. I think that people are valuing the AI business and not valuing the rocketry business enough.
Well, I certainly like my own AI. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
We're getting a relationship going, man.
This is real, right. Yeah, me too.
And I don't use the mainstream ones, but hey. Yeah, next down here's interesting. Got some of the Kiev Post that says Ukraine plans a $1.1 billion satellite constellation to reduce reliance on Starlink. So more sovereign stuff again.
Right.
Here we go.
We saw a little bit about this. Was it Poland last week? Yeah, it was Poland. It was Warsaw that was doing their thing.
Right.
It wasn't this big, but remember, because I'm going to bring it up every time, Starlink pulled the plug on the Ukraine when they really needed it. So
here's the brutal irony. Here's the payback. I also read something the other day where I guess Russia actually hacked into about 200 Starlink satellites for their own purposes.
Right.
While they're building their own thing.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, $1.1 billion for 360 satellites. That seems like a bargain to me.
Yeah.
I wonder what the capabilities of those sats are.
Well, true. One thing that's true. The other thing, I like to know whose 1.1 billion it is.
Right. Is that national money? Is that I don't know.
NATO? Is that the EU? Is that
this guy Stetman? He died in the midst of trying to put this thing together. So other people on the team said it's still going through.
Okay.
So I don't know enough about this scenario Yeah, the meeting follows the death of June 13th death of Stedman
Uh,
founder Dimitro. So I don't know enough about this to weigh in on it, but 360 satellites for $1 billion seems like a bargain, and I wonder what capabilities they're going to have.
right? Who's launching them?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not like they can launch them themselves.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. The project is funded through Russia. No, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I'm definitely looking at the wrong thing. Nope, that's not it.
Somebody hacked into Russia's central bank
Right.
for pulling that back.
Yeah, I don't think it says who's paying for it. Yeah, I don't know. All right, well, let's move on.
Okay.
All right.
I can do that. Here we go. Okay, it's a short one. iSpace got ESA backing for their Magpie lunar rover. They get like about 74 million US contract for phase 2. Magpie is called the Mission for Advanced Geophysics and Polar Ice Exploration. So that sounds vaguely important.
Mm-hmm. I can't. There are not very many rovers out there. Is this the only one that Europe is building? Because Canada's building one, Lunar Outpost is building one.
Oh, I thought someone else was building one there too. Didn't we report on it like 3 weeks ago?
I don't
They're
know.
trying to get sovereign capacity for all sorts of things. I'm sure they
Yeah.
have multiple rovers in the pipeline
Hmm.
for various purposes. This one's exploring for lunar, water ice.
Right.
All
right. Jason's telling us all kinds of stuff about marshland in Louisiana.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, Veronica's saying that Ukraine got the money from the U.S.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Well, you know what? The odds are good.
Right.
The odds are good.
All right. All right, let's move on. I don't have anything else to say about iSpace.
Okay. This is my joke of the day. I think it's funny. China has begun deploying its first commercial constellation dedicated to space debris monitoring.
Hold on a second. Our guest is weighing in there about space state, our rovers. He's talking about Venturi. I don't know who Venturi is, so let's talk about them when you're on the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. All right, sorry, I missed you, Tom. What'd you say?
Joke of the day. China is deploying a commercial constellation to dedicated to space debris monitoring. Now, 2 weeks ago, didn't we just report that they were the biggest offender?
Heck yeah, we did. So clearly, it's our news and our reporting naming them as being bad at this. That's what spurred them.
That's it. There's somebody over there behind the Great Firewall of China watching us closely and taking notes.
Well, it's cool. I mean, seriously, all jokes aside, right? Fairness where it's due here. When they have the capability to do an ASAT test, they didn't do a second one. It was Russia that did two. One proved that they could, and the second one proved that they will. So, without throwing China directly under the bus, this is a good move for them, and I'm glad that they're doing it. They're not talking about what they're going to do about it, but they're going to monitor it. So that is the first step.
Yeah, they love monitoring.
Yeah.
They monitor a lot.
Well, hopefully that will turn into decisions to act.
Yeah. That would be the preferred solution.
And there's still questions of sovereignty when they do start cleaning things up. So,
and maybe that's a part of this too.
Yeah.
3 quick things, and then we're ready to go. I've got the next one is very quick. You can just put the link there. Voyager just won a big contract with the Sandia National Laboratories, which accelerates their national security research and delivering end-to-end execution in LEO. It's a mission management contract to fly their big boy demonstration aboard ISS next year.
Neat. I don't really know what this means. Is that like how Boeing manages the ISS control center? I don't entirely know what this means.
They're supposed to provide end-to-end mission management, including experiment design, payload integration, safety review, manifest, mission planning, and on-orbit operations. So that's a lot.
All right. Keep going.
Okay.
Good job.
Here we go, because the last one's the coolest thing ever. And so the exploration company GmbH is a potential European rival to Elon Musk. SpaceX is in talks to raise at least $300 million in part from the EU's Scale Up Europe Fund, bumping their company's valuation to more than $2 billion, which would help finance the company's effort to develop the first European reusable space capsule to transport cargo to the ISS and its planned successor. So that's the SpaceX rival part.
Right. That's that sovereignty piece we keep talking about writ large, because this might be Europe's first real competitor. What's that group? Skyrora. They're not even close. They haven't launched anything big. So exploration company. Yeah, cool.
No Dallas just says he made a comment. Big boy, no, it was Little Boy that was the name of the second atomic bomb.
Oh, right.
And the first one was called Fat Man.
Man, Little Boy. Yep. True. All right. Let's move on.
Final thing. This is kind of cool. Because it makes a big deal about, Florida space play offers a roadmap for beating China. Well, it's all about funding. Like one of the things that China does that we don't take enough advantage of in this country is state and local investment. A lot of Chinese provinces and municipalities like Shanghai will spend even billions and lead the effort to help build infrastructure. And so while that works, we don't want to emulate their plan exactly, but we should be able to do something. We should not copy their system, but be foolish not to learn from what's working for that. So states can act, in many policy domains. States act as labs of democracy, as they say, and so, and the federal government has apparently given states a new tool, and they're called space infrastructure bonds.
Huh.
And they're tax-exempt private activity bonds that can be used to finance spaceports and nearby related facilities like spacecraft factories. And Space Florida, our buddies there, is on track to be the first to actually use them as part of what they call the state's Project Jaguar, focused on making its space industry even more competitive domestically and internationally through improvements to CAPE. And so now, not just Florida, but there are 20 spaceports in 10 states now. And so they all have the opportunity to use that new financing mechanism to supercharge economic development around spaceport sites.
I cannot bring that article up. It is
really.
It is not help. This is what I get. I cannot read any of the things you are telling me now.
Wow. Okay.
That's it. That is entirety of what I get. So that's really interesting. I'm very curious about this. I'm going to see if I can look it up. Can you give me some keywords that might be useful for
I'm
going to look it up.
Again, what is it? They're called, well, again, the federal government did this. They're called space infrastructure bonds. Look for that.
All right. I'm gonna. Thank you. I will look that up, and I got it right here.
Okay.
Huh. Well, that's very cool. Good job, Florida. And
Yeah.
hopefully Washington State follows
Yeah.
because we're trying to build a spaceport in Washington,
Right.
which only some people think makes sense, but I'm one of them. So I understand why people are concerned about it, but I think
Yeah.
it makes some sense. All right, shall we move on?
We have a guest.
Yeah.
And for once, we have a guest who's a money guy. And so we're going
Yay.
to talk about the economics of low Earth orbit and maybe beyond and cislunar economy with a firm that actually invests in space stuff.
Yep.
Ivan Turchak is with us tonight. He's an associate from a Hypernova fund which is a space tech VC firm, is joining us tonight from Spain.
Yeah.
How
Hello, everyone. Good,
Yeah.
good.
At
How are you?
2:30 in the morning. So
Yeah.
thank you, Ivan. Appreciate it.
I appreciate it too.
But are all these young guys kind of on the night shift anyway? They're kind of like do all their coding, 5 in the morning and stuff.
Right.
Well, I usually sleep at this time, but today
Yeah.
today's a perfect day to be awake.
Good. All right. Well,
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was going to ask you about your origin story. How did you get here? How did you become what you are? What's your interest in space? And you guys chose actually space finance in particular, which is a hard nut to crack, even in good times. So, what brought you here?
Well, my origin story is a bit weird, adventurous, I would say. Just like yours, yeah. I was born in Russia. Then I've studied in school in United Kingdom in Isle of Man. Then moved to South Korea. I studied there in university. Studied economics, and during that time, had some interest in high frequency trading, so started doing this. Then left and worked for a German investment bank, and finally joined Hypernova, mostly because I like the people who were studying the fund, and space was always interesting, not only because it was a dream to be, which always was, but also because of the economics and what I've been seeing, during my time in investment bank, because many space startups, even at that time, two years ago, in space industry started to come to us and ask whether we could help them or not. So yeah, this is high level. Hopefully it makes sense.
Sure. What'd you do in Korea and Isle of Man?
Well, Isle of Man, my parents said, well, you should leave this country. I'm speaking of Russia, and I went to UK just to study, to get my English and speak, understand people. And why I went to Korea? Well, one of my friends in UK, he said to me, well, do you want to adventure or something? And I was like, sure. What's up? And he said, well, let's go to Korea and study there.
All right.
Yeah. And I just said yes without thinking. And
great answer.
Yeah.
I lived in Korea a very long time ago and like it quite a bit. So very neat. Cool. All right. Well, let's kind of focus on Hypernova then. We got about 25 minutes or so. Tell us a little bit about your role there. You were one of the first people there. What you do? What does Hypernova look for? We're going to just go all over the place.
Sure. I mean, the fund itself is a $50 million fund, and we try to invest in orbital economy, everything related to infrastructure in space, energy in space, basically everything that happens after the launch. And not boring stuff like PNT and communications, but something that can grow and change the way we look at space, and finally create an economy in space. So this is kind of main angle and where we look when we try to invest.
And how did you? This is a Austin, Texas fund. How did y'all connect?
Well, it's actually a funny story. When I work at this investment bank in Germany, I connected to our current managing partner, Gregory. He said, I'm starting a fund. And I said, as I usually do, I said, well, can you take me in? And he said, yes. So, yeah, a pretty similar story to what happened in Korea. So yeah.
All right. That's always ask and always say yes. I like that quite a bit. Veronica is asking, how did the fund get its $50 million fund? Well, first, Ivan, talk a little bit about how how a fund operates in general to answer Veronica's question, please.
Well, it's a hard question, and to be honest, we have not fully raised this 50 yet.
Mm-hmm.
So we have already deployed 5, and constantly raising new capital to invest. But before the Hypernova fund, managing partner of Hypernova, Gregory, he also had another fund in deep tech called 182 Ventures. I think 250 million deployed there in various companies. SpaceX in the portfolio when it was a private company. 1X Technologies, Figure AI, so mostly deep tech. And to answer your question, how to get 50 million? Well, I don't really know. Hopefully we can get this 50.
All right.
But trying our best and just looking at the old connections and trying to create a story for the investors and LPs that they usually like. Yeah.
Okay, so let's kind of dig into that. Funds don't have $50 million just sitting in their checking account. What they have is relationships with limited partners that commit, 1%, 5%, 10% of that 50 million. And when you find something interesting, that's when you send letters to your limited partners. No, and Veronica, they're not angel investors. They might be angel investors in other things, but they have a contractual obligation with the fund. Ivan, is that called a demand letter or request letter? Like when you find a company ABC and you want to put money into it, y'all just have to send messages to all the LPs that have agreed, right?
Well, no. LPs invest in the fund, and then we make our own decisions. So, like, it's not deal by deal basis. It's you basically invest in the fund and let us play with the money, I'd say. Yeah.
I see Dallas. Dallas is on a snarky roll this evening.
What's Dallas saying?
You say, how do you get 50 million, to invest in space? You start with 100 million.
All right.
Well, next fund, yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about some of the people here. So,
I know Steve Wolf. I
know Steve Wolf, and we all kind of know Justin Kugler. Originally, do you know Justin was a CIA agent before he joined Casus?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was in the. Well, I don't know, Tom. I don't know if Tom knows, but yeah, he was in the CIA before he joined with NASA and Casus, and then he went on to Made in Space, and then Redwire, and now where is it? Intuitive Machines? Yeah,
Intuitive
Machines, right?
Machines
Yeah,
now.
yeah. So, yeah, these two guys, they're rock stars in my opinion. All right, so let's kind of dig into your Well, I'm on the wrong page. Your portfolio a little bit. So where's Mission? We know the folks at Mission Space. We've had Mary Glaz on our show 2 or 3 times. She was actually supposed to be here 2 weeks ago and had to reschedule, so we missed her. But tell us a little bit about Mission Space and why y'all put money into that one.
Well, space weather monitoring is a growing market. Government always needs this pictures, and we constantly do that. So we thought the approach with nanosatellites was interesting, and we also find team of Mission Space really exciting. Especially Mary, we know how much work she puts into, and I would say this bet was more of a founder bet, and we just think that they can execute very well.
Very cool. Very cool. Is Longshot the railgun company?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. All right. So
I can explain.
That's kind of outside the norm for
It
space
is.
tech. Why that one?
Well, when we first met Mike, I was, at first I thought that he's a crazy person, but he's a crazy person in a good way. He knows how to sell things, and initially when we thought we've been looking at the economics that you have to build 10-kilometer gun, we thought, well, that's interesting, but sometimes when you see a startup, it just feel like they can't do it. They just can't raise. They can't raise money. They can't talk with government properly. And in Longshot, we thought they can. And I think eventually what they will do, they will pivot to hypersonics. But this bet was also kind of our bet against our portfolio. We at that time we've been thinking whether something can happen with SpaceX, and we need something like a hedge, maybe in some way, and investing in Rocket Lab or Firefly, all of those big companies that are building rockets just seemed a bit off. And while we focus on pre-seed to Series A, there were not many options. So we talked to other railguns and not railguns, kinetic launch companies, and just figured out that Mike has the higher chance of building something big enough and selling it.
Did they have a different name once upon a time?
No, I don't think so. I think they have their name at least for 4 years now.
Green Launch, does that ring a bell?
No, that's a different company. That's a
different company. Okay, all right. Tom and I have been running business plan competitions for years and years and years in the space sector, and Green Launch came through our boot camp and pitch competition. Maybe, Tom, was that 6 years ago, 7 years ago?
Yeah, at least.
Austin, I think it was in Austin, Texas, when they when they came through.
Was that 23? Maybe that was 23. We were involved in that in 23.
Farther than that.
Because before that, the last one we did, I think, was in 2019.
Yeah, I'm thinking it was 2019.
COVID kind of ruined everything for a while.
Right.
And then we did some virtual ones. I don't remember them being part of the virtual ones.
Yeah, no, it was before that. I think it may have been 2019. So Green Launch is not. It's not them. Yeah. It's a different one. Yeah. Okay, I wasn't sure.
I think the best company and the company that they love is Quantum Space. Actually, they're going public this year, and this is our first unicorn in the portfolio.
All right. I don't know that much about these guys. Tell us about your first unicorn. That's a big deal.
Yeah. So the company was founded by Cam Gafarian, who is also the founder of Intuitive Machines.
Yeah. He's everywhere. That's
X Energy.
There's a lot of money. Is okay. So that, I mean, when you start a company with a billionaire behind you, it's easy to get to be a unicorn. And that guy's got a
That's true. That's true. But
yeah,
I think Cam's superpower, as well as Kerry Wisnowski, who is now president, and Jim, who was the NASA administrator, 13th NASA administrator, is now the CEO.
Yep.
I think the superpower of these people is getting government contracts. And and I think they will have more than 100 million of contracts in 3 years. They're on the path. They already have contracts with Department of Defense, Department of War now, for orbital refueling. So what's the plan is to build a big Ranger spacecraft that will refuel, service the satellites, and also do logistics. So taking your satellite from LEO to GEO. And they have many contracts. It's really interesting company, and you should definitely keep an eye on it.
It is hard to bet against these two guys, right? That's a pretty remarkable track record. Good on them, and good for you guys, right? That's what it's about. All right, so let's go ahead, Tom.
Wait, well, here's the thing. I want to, because I've seen that list. It looked like great companies. I only know of about half of them. I haven't done that kind of a deep dive yet. I'd be curious, though, to know your selection process. What are you looking for? What kinds of technologies? What kinds of teams? How does it fit into the grand scheme of things? Do you have a grand scheme of things of all your investment decisions?
Yeah. So mostly we look for dual use. And we're trying to search companies who will benefit from government contracts in the first years of their development, and then they can become commercial. So that's kind of the global side of things. We also try to find teams that are experienced with, as it was with quantum space, people that are PhDs, people that have already built something in space industry. And we prefer to ignore people that come from the street without any background in aerospace defense. What else? Mostly we're trying to see through the trends and just a good trend, just a good example of how we think is why we invested in Cosmic Shielding Corporation. So for orbital data centers, we've been constantly thinking and doing the math, and math was not mathing. So, but we still think that edge compute will work, right? And we'll see more satellites that have computers on board. And they're basically just two companies in kind of whole market that are doing radiation hardening. And we thought radiation hardening will be definitely a market for edge compute and also data centers in space.
Yeah.
And there are just two companies, like big ones, I would say Cosmic Shielding Corporation and Melgen Labs. We passed on Melgen Labs. I don't want to talk about it, but we did our due diligence and we were not happy. That's how I should put it. And we've just invested in Cosmic Shielding, so we're trying to get something risky, but we're also thinking of how this company can still survive if this thesis, for example, orbital compute, won't work. Sure. And so this is like how we think in the grand scheme of things. Yeah.
Okay. Is there an average range of investment amount that you guys do, or is it all over the place depending on the company?
Well, for pre-seed, we usually do from 100 to 200K. In seed rounds, we go from 300 to 500, and in Series A, we can go up to 1 million.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many bets are you making? Right, you've got, what was that, about 16 on the website
12.
now?
12.
Okay, not yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
12 portfolio companies. Well, we're targeting to get 20 to 30 companies now. The idea is to basically have this 50 million and divide it by portfolio companies. So if we'll have 20, we would like to put in each company 2.5. So we invest, I don't know, 200K at seed round, then we have to add up 2.3 in the next rounds up to Series A. And after Series A, we basically stop investing. And in terms of timeline of the fund, we think 5 to 7 years is what we're targeting. Hopefully, hopefully we can have some exits. Yeah.
Okay. Deep tech tends to go longer than that, but you guys are actually on the short end of that spectrum, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, I think industry like changes, and we kind of see that with a kind of I like to take deep tech, not the deep tech, defense tech as an example of how fast things are going. For example, just a few weeks ago, DoD awarded a company that's 12 months old with a contract that's more than 200 million. And we already see this in and we already see this in space. We see some startups like Lunar Outpost getting the contracts. And I think it kind of, there are a lot of factors that play in. So first one is moon race, then second is space budgets going up year by year, on average, I think 20%. That's what we've been counting. Golden Dome, 60% goes to space. Also cheaper launch costs. And I think in terms of policy, two very important things. First is new NASA administrator, Isaacman, with his Athena doctrine. I recommend you to read through it because it's kind of changing the way we looked at NASA and how NASA will perform. And also Trump Executive Order 14369. So basically, these two last ones kind of changed the industry. So Isaacman proposed that they're not going to award one company with $1 or $2 billion contract. There will be multiple winners, and that's what we see with Lunar Outpost.
Yeah,
it's actually funny because I was looking at that time, maybe it was like 2 or 3 months ago, I was looking at Intuitive Machine stock, and when Lunar Outpost got their contract for Lunar Rover, the stock went down a lot. And I think there will be a lot of changes, new startups getting money quick, faster, easier. These contracts will be fixed price, so not going to be cost plus. And speaking of Trump executive order, I believe it's also a big thing because he announced that we need 50 billion in private markets. Will help to do this by bringing new investors, and I think that's what's happening. At least that was what's happening at last like 6 months when we see a lot of capital flowing into the private markets in space tech.
I think you kind of just answered this, but maybe go a little further. By the way, Space TV Net, hi, nice to see you. I'd love to chat with you. I think we connected on LinkedIn, and I'd like to talk to you about that. Kind of interesting what you're doing. But can you go, even Ivan, a little bit farther about why NASA, why the Athena document, why Isaacman? Because we all think that's a pretty big change. And then Isaacman is talking about 30 missions to the moon, 30 missions to the moon. And maybe this is wishful thinking, but because both blue and red like him, we're hoping he survives an administration transition. Most NASA administrators don't, but some of them do, and he might be one of them. So within that context, what are you thinking about NASA now? What's different for you?
Well, I've been looking at the budget changes and budget request changes, and I think budget request from Isaacman when he just stepped into the office, the budget was cut. It was much smaller than what he got eventually, and a lot of the money that was flowing into science and testing and research was just basically thrown out of the budget, and everything just goes to the rockets, to building, to I don't know how to call it, but to real stuff which we can see on orbit in upcoming years. And I think this is really important, because if such big agencies are trying to make things faster, and we also see it in DoD, and we also see it in Space Force, and we also see it in Air Force Research Lab, that means that the opportunities for startups, for new companies, will eventually appear, and more of them will appear in upcoming years. And I think US is just speeding up in terms of getting money to the people and budgets. And it looks kind of similar to me to what happened in the Cold War. And hopefully that, and I think that will continue as we see that deglobalization trend. Europe is trying to get away. There are not many friends, and US just has to move faster in order to compete and win the competition against China. Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. Okay, Ivan, we have about 3 minutes left. We'd like you to go a little bit into grab your crystal ball and put on your thinking hat and say what does this world look like to you 5 years from now and 25 years from now?
Oh, it's a tough question. I think I can answer to what's going to happen in 5 years. I think we're going to land on the moon, and we will have a lunar base. Yeah. I think the space exploration will become a thing. And but I think the only way, and I think critical point is now whether US will continue to spend money, whether new startups will continue to receive this, and whether we will see orbital data centers to appear in upcoming 3 to 5 years. If this happens, well, it's definitely a bright future, and space is gonna accelerate. But if that won't happen, the next 25 years might not be looking that good, to be honest with you. So I think this 5-year term is really, really important. If we'll see a lot of developments, if we'll see a lot of budget growth, if we'll see lunar base, if this moon race with China continues, then it's a great thing. And we'll see something unique, deep space travel in 25 years. If that won't happen, well, it may slow down the development, and maybe we will, I don't know, be in the same place in 10 years where we are right now. So, yeah, I'm a bit skeptical, but yeah, nobody knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And on that, Ivan Turchak, thank you so much for being with us. Всего хорошего. watching pretty on the. Well, hopefully we'll see you again real soon, and we'll talk about the next greatest and wonderful things you guys are doing. I love what your company and what you're up to, and yeah, we want to hear from you again, definitely.
Sure.
Thanks so much. See you soon.
Thanks, Thomas, and thanks, Michael. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Absolutely.
Goodbye.
Okay. Thursday, we have no scheduled guest. That's deliberate because we have a lot of other things to talk about that we are behind on, like the latest quarterly industry report and the financials. We're going to be going over the latest news that we couldn't fit in this week. And so
that White House report that I think is
that White House report,
really big deal. Yeah,
I think so too. Yeah, we're going to be talking about that. And of course, we'll sneak in some general tomfoolery. 8 p.m. Eastern, as always, this coming Thursday. Thank you all for being here. We're going to see you again on Thursday. And for Michael Lane and Sean Key, who took the day off, good for him. I remain Thomas Andrew Olson. Keep watching the skies.